And so it begins, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Saturday stream right here on the Paranormal Portal. How you guys doing? Missed you bunches, but I'm here. I couldn't resist one final stream for the week. And it's the Saturday stream, of course. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Thank you so much for giving me part of it, spending part of it with me. That is always an incredible feeling. I don't know. Everybody needs their weekends, but I'm glad that you feel that this is a big part of yours. I'm just really honored. And Taz is here. Good to see you. I haven't seen you. Oh, thanks. Got my Yankee shirt on. Little trivia, Brent Thomas trivia. Back when I would do in my band, when we would do club shows and stuff, this was what I would always wear. And a black t-shirt underneath that actually said undercover narcotics agent, which I always thought was hilarious. And, but yeah, this is my get up. And I was like going through the clouds. I'm like, hey, I got that. And hey, it fits. So I'm feeling good about it. But yeah, this is a shirt I've had, 20 years. Is that possible? I got clothes that old? I think it is. I might even have underwear that old, honestly. I just don't know. No, I think I've cycled through underwear a lot through the years, but these shirt, it's I don't know if it's official baseball jersey or not, but it was expensive as hell back in the day. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Thanks. I'm glad you like it. Pulled it out of the closet. I tried it on. I was like, hey, it fits. That's a good thing because there was a long time this wasn't going anywhere near this body. So 20 years and you're still in the 21st century. I know. How about that? Isn't that crazy? I guess that's true, huh? Maybe it's older than 20 years ago. Yeah, come to think of it, it's probably like closer to, Jesus, is it possible? Like 25 years? Yeah, I think so. I think it was probably about 1999 when I bought this shirt. Wow, how time flies. Anyway, it's crazy because it seems like just last week I graduated high school. And I don't know what it is about getting older, but the time goes faster, that's for sure. But, along with everything else with getting older, my energy's lower and stuff. But I'm here to tell you that there's a solution that I found, and this is a product that I've entered into agreement with here on the portal. And again, this is something I take really seriously. That's when I married. Oh, this is something I take pretty seriously because I don't blindly endorse anything. It's got to be something I believe in because I believe that, integrity is everything. If you're familiar with the show, you know that I don't knowingly entertain hoax stuff on the show unless it's to show you that it's a hoax or to demonstrate why I don't think it's legitimate. But generally speaking, I don't know. There's a lot of false claims in this world right now. And I think we're all just trying to find something real. And so when I was reached out to by the Magic Mind Company, I was really, really, really hesitant about it. And I was like, well, I can't potentially endorse anything unless it's something I truly believe in. They sent me a sample, and I'm here to tell you I love this stuff. I really do. I'm really blown away by it because I'm not a morning person. I don't get up. I don't hit the ground running like some people just start out and they're good to go. I'm not one of those people. Like several hours of the beginning of every day is me lethargically nursing a coffee and trying to, get my head moving. And ever since I've been trying this Magic Mind, I'm absolutely thrilled to find that it is incredibly beneficial to me. It really, really snaps my mental acuity in gear. It really gives me energy. It really helps me to focus. And I never would have believed it, honestly. I've never would have believed that you could just have a little drink of something and it would have an impact like that. But I've been using it now for a while. They gave me a sample originally, and then when we entered in the agreement, they sent me another sample, and that in between time was just noticeably different. So I've got another sample. Of course, when you order this, you're going to get, you order by 15-day supplies. And you can order more than 15 days, but it's just, I think this is their beginning package is 15 days. And it's an amazing product. It's very, very, very well sourced, and you're not putting a bunch of Franken foods into your body. Everything they're including in this stuff is very natural, organic, and is good for you, which is really cool. Now, I've never been a real supplement crazy person. I've tried a lot of supplements and stuff through my life, but this little shot here is packed with B vitamins, C vitamins, and all kinds of other, I don't know, I guess there's several different substances in there that are all naturally sourced and responsibly sourced, but they are incredibly powerful. And I never would have believed it. So all you do is they send you this box, and if you open the box, it's packed full of 15 of these little handsome bottles, and you can put it in your fridge. I just leave them here in the studio, and I grab one in the morning. But since I've been doing these promos, I've been doing it when I do the live shows because, got to make it last. But so my day today started a little slow, but now I get to take one. So I'm going to do it on camera with you. You just give it a little shake, crack it open, and down the hatch. And I really like the taste. It doesn't taste funky like a lot of natural supplemental kind of things are. It's like, chewing road tar almost, or drinking pine sap, but it's really tasty, and it's a little quick shot, and you're getting all the vitamins and nutrients that are good for you. And there's a whole host of things in here. There is, excuse me, I'm going to try to pronounce this. This is a lot of letters all in a row, so I'm going to do my best. But it's phosphatal dilcerine. There's lion's mane mushrooms. There's Bacopa monnieri, citrulline, or citicoline, rather. Sorry. That's what I'm talking about. These are huge words. And they're great. Whatever it is, it's great. Ceremonial matcha's in here. Cordyceps mushrooms, rhodiola rosea, B2, B3, B12, ashwagandha, L-theanine, and turmeric, as well as vitamin C. And it's amazing. They send you this nice little informational card to show you what it's all about. If you want more information and you want to check out what is this stuff, again, you can take my word for it or not, but I would never endorse anything that I didn't firmly believe in. But if you want more information about the product and to read some testimonials outside of mine, you can certainly do that. Just go to, oops, I got to learn to type here. Let's try again. There it is, magicmind.com. It's magicmind.com is where you can learn about the product. And here's what it looks like on their webpage. And it really is the world's first mental performance shot. This stuff is amazing. And they say motivation in a bottle. Yeah, this is from Biz Stone, who's the co-founder of Twitter. And I got to say, it really is motivational. Like, I take it and I'm ready to go. And on this page, here's all the ingredients. You can go through and check it out for yourself. And I mean, everything is wonderful. D3, vitamin C, the B vitamins, and all of these other things, and even a little organic agave, which gives it that sweet little zing. And it's nice and light. I really enjoy it. And it's literally one swallow, and it really does pick you up. So you can check it out. There's a bunch of testimonials on the bottom of the page where you can go through and read, as well as some frequently asked questions and, more links and information. Now, if you're going to order, you can really help me out by going to magicmind.com, and then /portal, Portal, and that'll bring you here. And this is where you can actually order, and it helps the show. So it'll help you and it'll help the show. So what's not to love? Again, this is Magic Mind. Special thanks to Magic Mind for helping the show and giving us a product to believe in. I really hope you guys give it a shot. and it does help the show. I mean, obviously it's a plug, but it's one that I truly believe in. So I hope you guys, if you can, give it a shot. I know it's worked wonders for me. I love this stuff. So I hope you'll check it out. And again, magicmind.com/portal, Portal, is where you can find out more information. So just got to put that out there. And thanks again to Magic Mind for giving us a whirl here on the portal. Really appreciate it. We got a lot to get to tonight. I am soloing with all of you. You guys are my co-hosts, so feel free to pipe in the chat if you got questions or things that you want to check out, things that you want, questions that you want to ask. I don't care, as long as it deals with the paranormal. I mean, I don't know. I guess sometime we'll have to do a show where you guys can just just ask me anything. I don't know if that would be a good thing or not, but maybe it would. Maybe it'd be interesting. Maybe it'd be a little. I mean, there's obviously. I'm not really. I'm kind of an open book person. Like there isn't. I really don't think that I'm personally very interesting. So I don't know. I don't know how a show like that would do, because I don't know. Everything about me, I think you guys probably know a lot of it. So, but if you have questions, or if you have specific questions about any of this phenomena, maybe we'll have to do that. Maybe we'll have to do a question show where you guys can ask me, well, I've been wondering about this with ghosts or UFOs or whatever, and I'll tell you what I think. I can't claim to be an expert on anything, but I'd like to just maybe give that a shot sometime. Let me know if you think that'd be a good show, or if that'd be interesting, or what. You're interesting. Aw, thanks, Taz. Hello, Shelley Montgomery, Wizard Moon, Grateful Owl's in here. Taz is in here, as well as Chucky Danger. Now we're going to be getting to the question of the week tonight. That's Chucky's wheelhouse right there. He's been keeping that running for a long time. Thank you, Chucky. I appreciate it. Karen Alberding is here. Sinfully Wicked is here. Sinfully Wicked 67. I got to get my tongue moving. And let's see. Who else is in here? Just scrolling up. Annie Manul is here. Hi, Annie. Good to see you. And Wizard Moon. How you doing? John Temperin is here. I did say Rachel, right? But if I didn't, Rachel's here, obviously. Rachel's always here. She's, I think she kind of comes in and gets everything ready before the shows, honestly. She's great. She's always here. Thank you, Rachel, for being here all the time. And thank you to our mods, all of our mods. You guys are amazing. Isaac Areola's in here. Karen Alberding. Isaac, say hi to Kirsten for us. Would you please give her our love? And Deb Varner's in here, our very own Deb. Gotta love her. Good to see you, Deb. And who else is here? Who else? I'm just scrolling and looking as we go. And that might be everybody that's chatting right now. I'm still scrolling up to see if I've missed anybody, but it looks like you guys are chatting a lot, which is wonderful. I think that's pretty amazing. John Temperin, did I say John? Maybe I did. But I'm saying it again. Yeah, it looks like we got pretty much everybody. I think that's everybody. Oh, John Stevenson is in here as well. Good to see you, John Stevenson. I just scrolled up and caught your name. And Annie's telling me, that's really neat that you noticed my shirt. It's funny. I don't know. I just had on a whim. I just pulled it out and I should try this on. And it worked. So it looks like that's everybody in YouTube that's chatting right now. And then Dog Digger, or Digger Dog, as he's known in our YouTube chat, is over on Rumble and hanging out over there. So great to see you all. Evening Brent from the Lone Holdout tonight. Shelley, you are there and I am here. Well, wherever you're listening, wherever you're catching the show, thank you so much. That means the world to me. And hello to any of you over on Twitter, or Twitch rather, that are watching. I appreciate that you're giving us a whirl. I appreciate that a whole bunch. So that's the 3 platforms that we're streaming on tonight. We're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on Rumble, and we're streaming on Twitch. So all 3 of them. And what can I say? I love being here. Tell Digger, here I am. He is there. Shelley Montgomery says, tell Digger, here I am, and he is there. There you go. You've been told. You've been told, Digger. There you go. All right. Cat. Who's Cat? Cat. We have a cat? I'm trying to see who Cat is. Somebody that just came in. I know we've got a few different. Where is it? Why am I not seeing it? Seems like I should have seen it by now. It didn't show up in my chat or something. Oh, Cat Doherty. Sorry, there you are. Sorry, Cat. It's totally skipped over your name somehow. I think you probably said it after I already gave the shout outs, but that's okay. Can always go back and do it again. So we're going to do the news. I only got a couple news articles tonight. It's a very quiet night for news. There's other articles we're going to be. Is there a buzzing for anyone else? I don't know. Are you hearing a buzzing? Is it really obnoxious or is it subtle or what are you hearing? Let me know, Taz. Cat says, it's okay. I don't know. Taz not here. Okay. Well, that's good because I am. What is I am? You're hearing a little bit, Taz. Grateful Owl says, no buzzing for Annie. Well, that's weird. I don't know. It's the interwebs, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Everything's working here right now. Crossing my fingers. You never know. It's noticeable. I'm sorry. Maybe if you try reloading the show or refreshing the browser window. I don't know. Not sure. Wait, it's critters in the yard. Where's your yard, Shelley? Where's your yard? I don't really have much critters outside anymore. It's been getting cold here. No buzzing here, says Karen. Okay, well, that's the interesting thing. It's just the interwebs, I guess. But whatever the case is, we're going to do 2 news stories, but I do have a lot of different stories for you guys. Oh, when the volume is up, hear the buzzing too. Okay. I don't have any buzzing. I don't know what you're hearing. It sounds crystal clear in my ears. So I'm sorry for whatever it's worth. I don't know if it's anything that I can fix. Wouldn't be surprised I've had a ton of critters. Taz, aren't you in Texas? There's critters all the time down in Texas. Big ones, too. Everything's bigger in Texas. Is it the bookcase? No, I haven't. I kind of put the bookcase on the button mode because the clacking and stuff last night was... I mean, the clacking's okay, but it's all the sound effects that come with it. So I'm going to have to... I don't know. I'm going to have to do some surgery on it and probably disable the little built-in speaker in there because it's cute and all, but it kind of gets annoying when I'm trying to do a show. So I didn't turn the bookcase on, but it's on. There's the haunted bookcase or the books in case you hadn't seen that before. If you're just catching the show, the books move out and flip up and stuff as if someone unseen is doing it. I realized that the ghost radar isn't on, speaking of ghosts, so I better turn that on. Oops, not the 6th, the 5th. All right, the ghost radar is on. I caught it myself tonight, so that's good. Hi, Big B. Big B. How you doing, Big B? Big B comes in and says, boo. That's rather fitting. Yeah, I thought that was cool, too. I found it at Michael's. I guess it's Michael's, the craft store. I found it there. But I actually saw somebody that had one at a conference in Vernal, Utah. I was like, oh, my God, I got to get that. So I thought it'd be cool for the studio. But it's motion activated. And the thing goes off by itself all the time. So I don't know if there's other motion, like the ghost radar sometimes points out to us. But I don't know. It could be just cheap electronics, whatever the case. So anyway, yeah, I love Michael's too. I could dump a whole boatload of money in there. So anyway, we're going to do the news and see just what the hell's going on in the news for the 2 stories that I do have for you. And then we'll get on to the question of the week. And then I got a couple of articles I want to go over, and then we'll hit the cryptid corner. And remember, anything you guys got to say or ask or anything, just feel free to just put it. It helps if you put it in all caps in the chat, then I see it. Brent, does yours turn on by itself on your phone? Does my what turn on my phone? I don't know what you mean. What is, I mean, on my phone? You know what I learned? Check this out. If you got an iPhone, I thought this was really funny. And I'll demonstrate it for you. I have an iPhone. This is my iPhone. So I got an iPhone. And I didn't know it, but there's actually some Harry Potter spells that are built into the voice app. So check this out. I'm holding up my phone. Now, if you're familiar with Harry Potter movies, I love those movies. I think they're great. The books were wonderful. I've always loved them and still do. But check this out. If you got an iPhone, I don't know if it works for the Androids, but it works for iPhones. Hey, Siri. Lumos. Mm-hmm. Lumos.
Okay, I turned flashlight on.
Then you go, Knox. Isn't that hilarious? You can say Lumos. And then it'll do it. Siri, Lumos. Oh, she's being a little sluggish. Hey, Siri. Okay, I guess I got it. Okay, thank you. What the hell? She's being a little sluggish. Let's try it again. Hey, Siri. Mm-hmm. Lumos. Isn't that not cool? Knox. Hey, Siri, Knox.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. And then she says, you're welcome on my screen. Isn't that cute? I don't know. I thought that was funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm just easily amused. Detected the ghost of the great Bambino. I didn't see that pop up on the ghost radar, but maybe. I enjoy the Harry Potter's movies, watch them often. It's amazing how the cryptids are depicted. Yeah, it is. I mean, all of the lore that she included in there is based on folklore and legends from around the world, like the Grindylows, the Boggarts, and all of that stuff is based on, at least folklore from different regions. So it's pretty cool stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's just fun. But anyway, let's get to the news. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot.
1992.
1992, the Ghost Radar says. Well, I don't know. What was going on in 1992? I don't know. Somebody will have to Google that, see if 1992 is an important date as it pertains to today. I don't know. Anything happened in October 5th, 1992? Check it out. Maybe. All right, let's get to the news. Until then, that's the year my youngest daughter was born. Oh, that's cool. When you bought the shirt. Oh, God. Could you imagine? That could be, well, I mean, that'd be a little early, though. I didn't buy the shirt then. No. The shirt would have been more like 98, 99, right in there, probably, or 97, 98, 99. A little later in the 90s than 92, but that's good guess. I mean, but it's a little early. I know it wasn't that early, though, because I didn't have the band then. Alivioso, if that's how it's spelled. What? I don't know. Is that one of those Harry Potter things? I don't know. There's Wingardium Leviosa. I don't know. I don't want this to become a Harry Potter discussion. I like the movies, but this is not the Harry Potter portal. So let's get to the news and see what the hell's going on tonight. It's a spell. Gotcha. News, you got it. Nathan Nate, good to see ya. Time to get your boogie on. You got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the news desk. I'll be your anchor, Brent Thomas, here on the Paranormal Portal News. And I've got a couple of news stories to bring to you today. Not a whole bunch. We're pretty thin on news tonight. But we got something, so we can give you something. And that's what we're going to do. Now, remember, we utilize a lot of different sites throughout the course of our shows. And I just hope that you guys support these sites. Go visit them. Go check them out. Because you're going to find a hell of a lot more than I can ever present to you on these live shows. And there's some amazing, amazing stories on all of these sites. So please Support their efforts, give them your love, give them your traffic, because that equals revenue and keeps the lights on. We definitely want these sites to stick around because they are absolutely amazing. So please do that. And if you go check them out, or if you get involved on their message boards, let them know the portal sent them. Let them know the portal sent you. Probably have to say Paranormal Portal. They probably just don't know Portal. So, all right, the first story tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on the news is coming from an amazing site that we always use here on the show, and this is unexplained-mysteries.com. I guess this is probably to be expected, but could nuclear rockets be the key to getting humans to Mars? I'm betting probably. I'm betting probably, because I think currently the model for doing it is that, we have to go to Mars at a certain point when the orbits are most closely aligned, and then you have to aim for where Mars will be by the time you get there, not where it is, so you're not actually chasing the orbiting planet. You shoot ahead and the planet kind of converges on the craft, and then it gets caught in Mars gravity and gets pulled towards the planet. So, but the problem with that is, and that's the reason that it's done that way, is because they can't fire the rockets the whole way there. It's just, there's no way they could carry enough fuel to do that with the current methodologies. So yeah, I think probably something like nuclear powered rockets are going to be the answer. Now, it's kind of unnerving to think about, lobbing nuclear devices up into orbit so that they could be used to get to space. I don't know. But anyway, I can't see it being done any other way, at least with technologies we understand currently. The faster you can get a crew to Mars, the better, but conventional propulsion systems may not be up to the task. This is going to be a big one, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't think of that. I didn't look at the size of the article. We'll read some of it, though. NASA plans to send it sounds like it's CRUDE, but it's CREWED. Crewed missions to Mars over the next decade, but the 140 million mile, 225 million kilometer journey to the red planet could take several months, 2 years round trip. The relatively long transit time is a result of the use of traditional chemical rocket fuel. An alternative technology to the chemically propelled rockets the agency develops now is called nuclear thermal propulsion, which uses nuclear fission and could one day power a rocket that makes the trip in just half the time. Oh, well, that's good. Nuclear fission involves harvesting the incredible amount of energy released when an atom is split by a neutron. This reaction is known as fission reaction. Fission technology is well established in power generation and nuclear-powered submarines, and its application to drive or power a rocket could one day give NASA a faster, more powerful alternative to chemically driven rockets. NASA and, basically DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, are jointly developing NTP technology. They plan to deploy and demonstrate the capabilities of a prototype system in space in 2027, potentially making it one of the first of its kind to be built and operated by the U.S. Nuclear thermal propulsion could also one day power maneuverable space platforms that would protect American satellites in and beyond Earth's orbit, but the technology is still in development. Anyway, there you go. If you want to read more about it, you sure can. I'll put the link to this if you want to get more information. It's a lot to understand or digest, I guess, but it's interesting. I mean, it's good because, and it was actually Kev Baker that brought this up years ago, on his show. And I thought, God, that's interesting. I'd never really thought of it until Kev said it. But he said, you think about technology. Everything has just hugely transformed in the last 20 years, 50 years, whatever. But the one technology that seems to be idle, which is really peculiar, is things like the space program. they still utilize the same materials, the same basic technologies to lob people up into space. And it seems bizarre that everything else has progressed so incredibly, and yet, like your phone, for instance, we got these supercomputers basically by the definition from, a decade ago. This is basically a supercomputer, and it's sitting in my pocket, but we're still essentially lighting the fuses and tying people to a rocket and wishing them well. Like, hey, good luck. Hope that goes well. So it is surprising that for some reason, and maybe it's a whole number of things that I couldn't possibly understand, but it's just crazy that technology hasn't developed along with everything else quite as well. So I don't know. It's I guess it's always concerning because, anything man-made is prone to disaster, and even alien-made, hell, they're still crashing their stuff, and they're supposed to be so far advanced to us. So it doesn't look likely we're just going to suddenly outgrow that. But is it maybe there's other roadblocks that I couldn't possibly understand. But it is surprising that by and large that technology really hasn't changed a lot ever since its development of the, basically the Apollo missions and stuff. Not much has changed. So I don't know. We'll see. But I like it. I like the idea of us getting to space and, starting to shoot around the galaxy. I think that there's probably other technologies that are not being revealed that could be utilized. I know that's, NASA was working on an impossible engine. That's basically, there's like no moving parts, and it's, I don't know. I read an article on it a long time ago, but it was just like, how in the hell could that even work? But it apparently has been at least tested to some degree. And so, I don't know. Sounds nice. Karen, how many bedrooms? Oh, we're talking about something completely different in the chat. I'm looking at the chat going, huh? How nice. And then I read the rest and I was like, oh, that has nothing to do with me. My chat has nothing to do with me right now. So that's the first article. You can certainly read it if you choose to get more information if you're looking for an update on some fission rockets as a potential space platform for us. So we got that going for us, which is good. All right, the last article tonight on the news also is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. And I can't remember what this one is, so we're going to learn together. I wonder if this one's huge. No, this one's good. This is a good length. Uh-oh. Gotta wait. There we go. My computer froze up for a second, but it's got better. It got better. All right, here we go. From unexplained-mysteries.com. This one I thought was kind of cool. It comes from Modern Mysteries. World's longest ever treasure hunt ends after more than 31 years. Huh. I didn't even know there was a treasure hunt going on for 31 years. Let's see what it says. Treasure seekers have been attempting to find a golden owl statuette that had been hidden all the way back in 1993. 31 years ago, French author Regis Hauser buried the prize as a way to help promote his new book, On the Trail of the Golden Owl, which he published at the time under the pseudonym of Max Valentine. The idea was that puzzles found within the book would lead to the location of the hidden golden owl. At the time, Hauser believed that someone would find the prize pretty quickly. Noticing that the puzzles weren't actually that difficult, that if all the searchers put all their knowledge together, the owl would be found in 2 hours. Incredibly, however, the mystery proved so difficult to solve that the hunt for the golden owl would take over 30 years, outliving Hauser himself, who died back in 2009. Wow. Because he took the precise location of the owl to his grave, it wasn't until a legal battle ensued between the treasure hunt's co-creator Michael Becker and Hauser's heirs that the answer to the riddles in the book were finally obtained, leading to a resurgence of interest in the mystery. Eventually, after 31 years, 5 months, and 9 days, someone found the location of the owl. We can confirm that the golden owl was unearthed last night simultaneously with a solution upload that was sent to the online verification system, Becker wrote. There is, therefore, no need for you to go digging at the location you assume to be the hiding spot. For the winner, the effort will certainly have been worth it, as the owl, which has diamonds in its head, is believed to be worth around $165,000 US. Whether they will actually sell it for money or keep the owl as the prize, however, remains to be seen. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. And there's the French golden owl treasure. Whose channel is this? This is from France. It's from France. Let's see what it says. Let's do this.
Saint-Michel to the cliffy hills.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't want to rebroadcast their whole thing. But, I don't know. Here's the owl, I guess. Let's see what they're saying.
Location hasn't yet been revealed. Organizers of the mythical treasure hunt said the golden owl was finally found 11,495 days after it was buried. To crack the code, participants had to solve a series of 11 enigmas, with the hunt sometimes taking on airs of a wild goose chase.
There you go. It's been found. And that's the picture of it right there. So you can kind of see what the thing looked like. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I love that some people have done that. What is it? Forrest Fenn. He did a treasure hunt here in the U.S. Oh, do you hear my stomach? Oh my God. That was all internal, I promise. That was not an external noise. That was all internal. Oof. Got some kung fu going on in my digestion system, apparently. Your kung fu is not strong enough. Apparently mine is. But there you go. That is the deal. If you're looking for the golden owl, never mind. It's done. It's over. It's been found. So on to the next. But I think it's cool when people do these treasure hunts. I think they're pretty amazing. I think Forrest Fenn's treasure was really pretty incredibly robust. I don't know. This is no small treasure, obviously being $165,000 worth of gold and diamonds. That's a hell of a lot. It must have been a huge deal, but congratulations to whoever found it. But I think Forrest Fenn's was cooler because it was like a chest full of stuff. So, if you found the golden owl, it's like, well, either you keep it or you sell it. It's not, you're not going to clip off feathers here and there and, put them in the safe just to have something. With Forrest Fenn's, there was a whole host of things in the chest, and you could select, some pieces to hang on to and then, sell the rest of them because why not, and maybe get ahead a little bit. But cool story. I think more of that should be done by those who are capable of doing it. That's an amazing thing. So there we have it. That is the news. Oh, you got to be snaking me. What is it with the God? The buttons quit working again. Can you believe it, folks? The buttons quit working. It was just working fine. I mean, even that's not working. Is this working? No, that's not working either. The whole damn thing is locked up. What in the bloody hell? Well, there you go, folks. This has been the news. Looks like I'm going to be on manual for the rest of the night. I tried to update that thing again today a couple of times, and it keeps crashing on the update, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Love me some technology. I love it when it works, but when it doesn't, it's definitely frosts my sack, Not that you needed to know that, but there you go. We're going to get back to the rest of the show, so let's get to it. There we go, folks. We are through the news. Let me do this. Hold on. Gotta find and click on crap. What in the hell is wrong? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Life shouldn't be this complicated, should it? Let me see if I can unplug and replug in the damn thing if something could happen there. Maybe. I don't know. Is this it? There it is. Let me try. Buckle up if I... What the hell? If I unplugged something, I don't know. Let's see. I hope this is the right one. There it goes. Whew, okay. It's unplugged. I'm trying to reach down here and do my USBs. Come on, come to daddy. I don't know. I don't know if that'll matter or not, but I closed the app. The app closed. All right, hold on, folks. We're not done yet. Trying to troubleshoot live here on the live show again, just like last night. I don't know if we're going to get anywhere or not, but here we go. Let me do this. I'm going to launch the Stream Deck app. Okay, the buttons came up. Main menu. No, it's not doing shnikey for me. God. Oh, wait. There it goes. Wait. It's trying to catch up with me now. Oh, shoot. Stop it. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, maybe it'll work. Let's see. Cross your fingers. It did come back up. I don't know what we're dealing with here for sure, but I'm going to keep trying. All right. So now it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for another fun part of the show. And this is a great segment that I've grown to absolutely love. I don't know. Aggravated, maybe. Could be someone pissed off because I don't have the little ghost books active. I haven't seen anything going on in the Ghost Riders or the Ghost Radar since I said Ghost Rider, Ghost Radar since 1992 came up, but very interesting. Who knows? I mean, I'll tell you, my computer's pretty aged, and it seems like its age is getting pretty noticeable, especially in the last couple months. It's like, man, it's getting tired. I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't blame everything as paranormal, but it's definitely not normal. So, I don't know. Those dang goobers. Absolutely, John. Absolutely. All right. So remember, if you guys want to participate in a discussion with me, if you have things you want to ask, just do what John did and capitalize every letter. That sticks out to me really well. It's one of the ways you can grab my attention. Otherwise, I'll try to keep an eye on chat, but I just can't. My cat balls were thrown away. What? By your cats, or you're talking like you use them for investigating? I've got a bunch back here they're not on. They're just sitting on next to the moon there on the stand where the monitor is. But, you know, new PCs, laptops are old the minute you buy it and walk out of the door. Yeah, imagine how old this one is, because it's nearly, I guess it's about 8 years old now. Yeah, I guess that'd be about right. Maybe 7 years old, but I ask a lot of this computer, you know, investigating. Oh, okay. They got thrown while you're investigating? That's pretty awesome. My cat doesn't have any anymore. Well, they're always up here. I mean, they're not on, so if they don't trigger, if they do trigger, definitely let me know, because they're not on. They're not triggered to activate. So if they activate now, that would be pretty sensational, because they've been sitting there for months not doing anything. In fact, that's something that I hope to change. I want to get out and investigate so badly, but I just haven't been able to line up anything lately, and it's driving me crazy. Brent, did you get paranormal books from your school library? What was your first book as a kid? You know, I didn't, well, not my school library, but a public library. That was, I didn't really spend any time in my school libraries, to be honest with you. I was never a bookie when I was, I shouldn't say bookie, but I was never a book person, except when I went to the public library and would just go to the paranormal section, which was literally like a 3-foot shelf with different books stacked in there. And I would just go and pull them out. A lot of ghost ones. I used to love to just lay on the library floor next to the windows and just page through ghost stories and photographs and things like that. I thought they were pretty incredible, but I really wasn't a big reader back then, but that was my experience. Hey, Mr. David Barnes. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, when I was young and into this stuff, there wasn't a lot of resource at all. It was whatever you could catch on TV if there was a show, which basically was in search of, was my gateway drug to a lot of this because, and Leonard Nimoy told me about all kinds of things that I had maybe heard something of or saw in some of those books. But yeah, I never became a reader until I was an adult. I mean, I've always read just fine. I just was never really into reading. But as an adult, I love to kick back with a book and just, get into the stories, get into the journey that a book takes you on. I've read some amazing books. Some of them were holistic health, new agey, and spirituality, channeling, out-of-body experiences, all that stuff that I read through the years long before I had a show. Near-death experiences, I read a bunch of books on that by Raymond Moody and others, and those were really big for me. I've read books on religion and philosophy and all kinds of stuff. I used to love Richard Bach's books. I love his books a lot, like Jonathan Livingston Seagull and what was it? The one he wrote about the Messiah guy. That was really, really well written. Really incredible book. I read Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series. Loved all of those. Was crushed when he passed away before finishing it, but appreciate, I think it was Richard Sanderson that finished it based on Robert Jordan's notes, which was really cool. So at least it had an ending, but it still wasn't the same. I don't know. I've just read a ton of different books. I've read about philosophy, about physics, about so many different things, So I have a pretty eclectic taste in things. I read books on ceremonial magics and practices and esoteric practices. I've done and read a lot of things. Love the Dark Tower series. Yeah, I read the Harry Potter books, of course, as I was saying earlier. Loved all of those because J.K. Rowling really brought you into a cool place. It was more, obviously I wasn't reading it because I was like, oh, this is real stuff. But it was just such a journey and such a fun journey in those books. And it was like watching a good movie. And then the movies came out, which was pretty cool, but the books were way better. It's like everything. So anyway, that's my kind of a quick tour through my book world. I don't know. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of books still out in the garage and stuff. Things that I don't have a bookshelf in here other than this one, but I always wanted to have a library. I always thought it would be amazing to have a library. So The Stand is one of the few books that I didn't mind reading more than once. Yeah, The Stand. I used to read a lot of Stephen King. Yeah, I used to love Stephen King books back when I guess that was kind of my introduction into reading, really reading, was Stephen King when I was in high school. I read a ton of his books when I was in high school. That was amazing. So, yeah, true. Same books everywhere. Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're going to get to the question of the week now and dive into, what you guys had to say in response to Chucky Danger's question. So, again, special thanks to Chucky because I appreciate what you're doing, brother. That means the world to me, and it really helps me a ton that you're taking that on. So thank you so much, and let's check out what Chucky did this week. I'm going to try the button. Oh, what in the hell? Why is that happening? Getting a emotional alert in my backyard, and there shouldn't be anything going on in my backyard. I don't even have a camera in my backyard going on. What is the motion? Oh, then it just finally came up. God damn it. Sorry. Don't mean to cuss, but I want to see what's going on. Oh. Mrs. Portal just let out the dog. Well, that's good. Okay. I'm surprised. She doesn't usually do that now, but all right. Anyway, sorry about that. All right, here we go. So let's get to the question of the week, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to dive into that now. I'm trying the button. Cross your fingers. Oh, it worked. Yes, it worked. Amen. All right, it's time for the question of the week. Oh, that's another thing. After the Discord question of the week, remind me, I want to show you a video that was I thought was pretty impressive. Okay, but if you're not already a member of Discord, our Discord here on the Paranormal Portal, we'd love to have you over there. There's a great ongoing community of people, much like the chat here on the live shows on YouTube. We have an incredibly robust chat community here, and our Discord is a lot of the same people continuing their conversations. So I hope you guys will get involved. The link is in the description of the show. Please sign up, check it out. There is a tutorials thread here on Discord right up here. It says Discord tutorial. You can click on that if you're not familiar with Discord. Just left click on it and use your mouse wheel to scroll up in that thread, and you can learn just some basics about how to use Discord. It's not a tough program. It's actually a very basic program. It's just learning where things are. So there's all these chat threads, different topics that people are talking about. So all you do is just click on them and then just scroll up and see what people have had to say. Things that they've provided for links or information or discussion points. And so you can check out all of this. But we're talking about the Discord question of the week, and that is right here. So here we are. This is from Chucky. Once again, thank you, Chucky. And let's get into the question of the week. With the recent announcement of the discovery of completely new species of animal life kilometers under the ice in Antarctica, what do you think we may discover? Do you think we may discover species we currently think of as cryptids, or perhaps even new cryptids sprinkled among all the new species? Yeah, great question. Certainly, we are learning more about our world all the time, sometimes through technology, just sometimes through our expansion into the world around us, that we bump into things that we didn't know were there before, or just improved abilities to search for answers. And like, under the ice in Antarctica, what is there, 2 miles of ice? And then they're finally dug through that and are starting to research what's going on. So that's pretty incredible. So Annie Manul comes up first and says, no and yes. Cryptids are species that have an existence by word of mouth, but that haven't been proven to scientifically exist. Antarctica doesn't have more than a very small population of humans perched on various rocks. There could be folklore about were penguins. Yeah, could you imagine were penguins? Oh my God. But I doubt it, because most of the people there are hardcore scientists, like biologists, or hands-on types like mechanics. Besides, most of the new species found are things like fish, sea stars, and its animals that can prey upon humans that instinctively attract our attention. Doing so kept us alive in the past. I do think there are going to be cryptids that are described as new species in other parts of the world. That was the case with the mountain gorilla and the giant squid. Most of these will be in ordinarily accessible places where they've been able to have refuge from human activity. The sad part is human-caused habitat degradation may drive species to extinction before they're even known to science, unless we act now to preserve biodiversity. Yeah, that's so true, and that's the big tragedy, is that I think that's why there's so many Bigfoot sightings, honestly. I think that, again, I think they've probably had family territories, and I'm not, they're pretty robust size too. I mean, they're not small. And I think that they've been using these circuits for thousands of years, perhaps. But now there might be a mall there, where there used to be a wonderful field full of edible plants and small game. And our expansion into the world around us is probably pushing them into our experience, and it's of no fault of their own, but they still, by and large, remain hidden. But people are seeing them now, and probably seeing them more than ever, just because we are more places than ever. and we've pushed ourselves into their worlds. And so, yeah, I think that's a good point. Let's go to the next one. Eric, the Wandering Purple Hobbit. No, because everything is mistaken. Barra sightings? Or is that a bear? Did he mean bear? It says Barra, but I think he meant bear. Sighting or swamp gas reflecting off of light of Venus, the moon, or some random planet. All right. So that's a good point. Again, I don't want to get political. Please don't do that. Please don't do politics in the chats. I appreciate we all have political ideas, but I don't want this to become a politics chat room or a platform. You believe what you want. Vote your conscience. Vote what you think is right. But I don't think we need to be platforming in the Paranormal Portal Discord, if you don't mind. So let's not do that. Let's go to next. And this is Hallelujah Goat says, it all depends who sees them. If it's discovered by a credible scientist, then that legendary cryptid will be the animal that used to be known as a cryptid. Example, the Antarctic giant squid was known as the Kraken for many generations. Yeah, good point. I mean, even pandas were a legend. They were a cryptid. There was no way that scientists at the time believed there could be this robust bear species that only ate plants, and and the coat didn't make sense to them. There's no black and white animal that's remaining hidden in a green sanctuary, and yet they were. And it took 60 years of expeditions, and I think they were kind of being written off completely after several expeditions. But then somebody did find a skin that was being displayed in some merchant's shop. And they were like, what is that? And they were like, oh, that's the panda. And so it became tangible then, and then more efforts were done. And it was believed that pandas must be these incredibly savvy and tricky and amazingly adept and cunning animals. And then they found them, and they're, as Lloyd Pye said, they're about as smart as a bag of hammers, and somehow this black and white animal remained an undiscovered species for all these hundreds of years of legend. And it took 60 years of expeditions in about, I think it was like an area of 60 square miles until they finally found it. So, yeah, but again, as we expand, as our abilities expand with things like drone and other technologies, then, we're probably going to find more of this stuff. John T says, sorry, no idea. Fair enough, John. That's fair enough. ZX81V2 says black swans happen quite often. I don't know what that means, that reference. I don't understand black swans. I'm sorry. I'm sometimes incredibly obtuse about things like that, like colloquialisms. I don't understand what a black swan is. I guess I could Google it instead of sounding like an idiot here, but I'm just being honest. It's like, what is a black swan? Let's see what it says. What is a black swan? And you guys are probably like, oh my God, he doesn't know that. Well, that's true. I don't. There are multiple matches for black swan indicating a type of swan. No, that's not what I want. I want the black swan theory. Black swan theory is a theory of black swan events, is a metaphor that describes an event that comes as a surprise, has a major effect. Oh, fair enough. All right. I like it. Now I know what black swan is. Thank you. I appreciate when you guys educate me and forces me to learn something. Everybody needs more knowledge. So there we go. Now I know what a black swan is. All right. There we go. Plain Endo Gaming says, I think they'll prevent us from ever finding out the truth at all costs. Well, there's that theory for sure, that maybe there's a very active group of people that don't want us to know for whatever number of reasons, and fill in the blank on that. All right, here we go. Synthfully Wicked says, many parts of the planet, particularly deep oceans and dense forests, remain poorly studied, potentially hiding undiscovered species. I, for one, would like a sighting of Krampus, the hostile cryptid. Yeah, Krampus is a pretty diabolical looking thing, though. And they don't seem real nice. They got the whip and the basket, and they torment children. I don't know. They look like they're like Satan itself. So I don't know. All right, Ash Hermit comes up next, and I think there's always the possibility of discovering things, deep oceans, deep in the earth, or even in a frequency we can't see. I'm tired. Big words and things are hard right now. Fair enough, but you did great. Thank you, Ash Hermit, for weighing in on this. Next up is Rachel. I think it's possible to discover some species that we've seen as cryptids, mermaids, Bigfoot, possibly dogmen, but the question is, will science follow up on these discoveries? It's small pockets of people who witness some of the odder cryptids, and there's some cryptids who are bordering on the supernatural. Science turns its curious eyes away from such things. As we expand over the world, these more unique beings may be taking their last breath, and we'll never know, never seeing them in public eye, which isn't necessarily the scientific eye. Puckwudgies, gnomes, little folk, beings such as this, may have been going through their own extinction, silent, out of sight. Yeah, that's a tragedy, isn't it? That's a sad, sad thought, but it's very potentially possible that maybe they'll be gone before we even knew they were here for sure. That's a heartbreaker, really. All right, next up is Karen Alberding. They are always discovering new species, and some that were previously thought of as cryptids, I imagine. I think gorillas were once thought as imaginary or cryptid. Yes, they were. So yes, I do believe we can and will discover new species thought of as cryptids, and I honestly feel we already have through the government, though the government has kept it from us for various reasons, which to me is a bigger mystery as to why they feel we are so unable to grasp that kind of knowledge, or are so stupid as to not know they exist. Just my opinion. I could really go on and on about that, really. Fair enough. Yeah, it's a good point. Is the discovery, as was made before, being hampered actively by certain groups? And it's possible for any number of reasons I don't pretend to know. All right, here we go. Erebos says, I just want to know what's up with the Antarctic Treaty? Antarctic Treaty. I don't know. I don't know anything about an Antarctic Treaty. Elastic Machinery comes in next. I think perhaps the science team who has released this info could be genuine and really believes their place in the science community is really important. And maybe it is. My gut feeling is that it's too little too late. I know I certainly don't care because I believe all the research has been done already and classified either by the classified boxes within governments or under the Vatican. I just think there's so much mankind could demand in group and force to get that info, but it can never happen because they'll get corrupted with bad actors trying to make it violent somehow. How? That's all internal too. Jeez, I'm not sure what's going on. Got a real argument in my guts tonight. I think there's so much mankind could demand in a group force. I already read that. How can you demand information from an organization? Do signed petitions work? Can you everybody show up where they house this important lost history and information? Could hundreds of people show up and not be rowdy or not have people sneak in to be violent and change what was there to do? An even more important question is, does it imply some sort of violent threat by hundreds of people showing up to demand that these tomes of information? How could any of this be done without? Ignorant people insisting on violence? And how could it truly be organized to digitize this information? I know that's probably not exactly the answer that's expected of me, but I'm sorry. I'm just not impressed with the discover. I don't judge anyone who is. I think that's awesome, and it's great to have something interest to observe and study. Yeah, I mean, that's it. How do you force the answers that might already be there? I don't know, because we just, I mean, whatever we ask, at least with the current framework, they can just say no. They've done it forever with the UFO phenomena. There's nothing going on here. There's nothing to see here. There's nothing going on. You guys need to get tinfoil hats. You all are wacky, a bunch of weirdos, and they use psychological propaganda to turn people away from the idea that we're being visited until the leaks that showed the Tic Tac craft, and then the discussion kind of hit the mainstream, and it was acknowledged that these were legitimate by the government, and it got people talking. It got people opening their minds to it. But that was done because someone chose to break that protocol. Someone chose to bring that information out, or some group of people chose to just release it. Like, nope, we're going to do it. It's going to be out there, and let's see them deny this. So I don't know. I guess it's going to take whistleblowers, probably. Is about the only way that we're going to get the right to that information, because they hold the lock, they hold the keys, they hold the place where the keys and locks are, and they don't just let anybody wander in and have a look. So they control the information, whatever information they have. Now, do they have as much as some people think? Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, how could any of us know? But they know something more than we know. And that part is clear, and became abundantly clear just with those soft disclosure of the Tic Tac craft and all those other videos. It's like, well, yeah, those are legitimate. They acknowledge that. Okay, well, something's been captured that doesn't make sense. And so what is it? Well, I don't know. We just don't know. Eric the Wandering Purple Hobbit, my thoughts? No. Okay. All right, fair enough. All right, let's always, watch for the new questions of the week, folks. I did put out a notice earlier just before the show at 6 p.m. I said, hey, there's still time, because there wasn't a lot of response. And that's okay. I mean, if you guys don't know what to say, or you don't have an opinion, you can just say, I really don't know what to think about this. Fair enough. There's no right or wrong answers for any of it, but I love hearing your thoughts. You guys are amazing. You guys have great insights and great angles that you look at this stuff with. And I've learned a lot from this segment, just new ways to examine this stuff. So keep it coming, keep participating if you don't mind. And if you're not already on the Discord, please get on the Discord. We'd love to have you over there. So this has been the question of the week. There we go, folks. Question of the week. Thank you again, Chucky. That was awesome. Now, I did want to show you guys this. And this is a video that I put up on Paranormal Portal fans. I can't claim any credit for it. I just stumbled on it. I don't know if someone posted it that was on my feed, or if it was, I guess it was posted by Tales, Trails, and Taverns Facebook page. It's in a pretty exciting, potentially exciting video. And it's kind of sweet. It's kind of tragic, kind of sad in a sense, but it's also kind of sweet that this person was doing something very civically minded, but they were also doing some paranormal investigating at the same time, and caught what could be an incredible capture. Now, full disclosure, full disclaimer, I don't know anything about this video. I don't know anything about the people that posted it, that did it. I don't know if they are people of integrity or if this is just clever editing. I can't vouch for any of it. However, I can vouch for the fact that I have heard some incredible stuff come through my equipment that I truly, truly believe was intelligent presence communicating with me. And some of that I've showed you guys. Some of it has yet to be shown through more video projects that I'm trying to figure out how to get done. But at the same time, I've experienced this firsthand. So I can tell you that I really believe that there's something profound to this. So do with it what you will. I'm not telling you again that you should believe something or shouldn't. Believe what you choose. But I think it's an incredible video. So here it is in its entirety. And again, I got to sneeze in a sec. Not quite yet. There it is. Woo. I love sneezing. I really do. All right. This is the video. And be the judge. Again, believe it or don't believe it. Is it legitimate or not? It's all in your hands. I'm not telling you to believe anything, but I'm just telling you that if this is legitimate, this is really incredible. And the setup of it is there's a guy out in a cemetery. He's recording. He's doing some, he's got, it's not a spirit box or an Ovilus, but he's got like what I think is like the Portal app going, much like I have, that has a word or a phonetic database. And, or maybe it's just an app on his phone. I'm not sure what his platform that he's using is. It might be Ghost Talker. It might be, Necro Voices, or what is it? Necrometer, something. It might be Necrometer, actually. I'm not sure. But the response that he gets is so relevant to what's going on. It's just incredible. I was like, wow, if that's legitimate, that's an amazing capture. So here we go. I'm going to put it up on screen and you guys be the judge. All right. Here's the video. Sorry, I'm a little snuffly now. I'm snuffly. And I think that's all on screen, isn't it? I guess it's all on screen now. So here we go. I hope you guys can hear this. It should be. Oh, let me do this. There we go. Let me go forward and back once. Here we go.
Cleaning my grave.
That's it.
Done, son.
That's it. We're cleaning your grave. That's it, little Mary.
It's unknown. What is your name?
My name is John, Mary. Seems like you're having trouble retaining that information. Did you want to know? That's okay, baby. I won't forget you.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, that's just such an amazing capture. Cleaning my grave. What are the odds that that would come through from a random app and trigger at the time that he's cleaning his grave? And it's now the voice itself, you can't really go by the tone and stuff, but it does sound like a little girl. However, I think if that's Necrometer, it does sound like that, or you can pick that voice anyway. So the fact that it was in a childlike voice isn't necessarily relevant, but what's being said is relevant. So is it legitimate? Again, I don't know, but I think, as I've said, I've experienced this kind of thing firsthand. Once live on the show, when I was doing an investigation here live on the show, and I was like, is there anybody here that wants to talk to us? And instantly, and this is using a phonetic generator, so it's just no complete words. It's just pieces of words and pieces of vocabulary. So there isn't supposed to be any complete words, although I think there are a few in there, but not that said this. Instantly, as soon as I said, is anybody here that'd like to talk to us? Somebody said, a male voice came through, and I've never heard this voice on the application before. It was a different tone, a different voice than I'd ever heard. And I've used this a lot through the years. It said, yeah, I do. And I was like, oh my God, that's an amazing capture. So a skeptic would say it's too on the nose, but I'd say it sounds honest. I thought so too. Again, if it's not something that I at least had some experience with, I would probably be like, oh, yeah, okay, maybe that's editing. But having experienced that a few times with such incredible on-the-nose responses and answers, it's like, wow, that is so powerful. So I wish you wouldn't do that at home. Yeah, I'm not as concerned about that as maybe I should be, but I'm also incredibly careful about it. Before I ever do that, here, I am always first. I'm doing many things in preparation for that. Spiritually, ritualistically, maybe is a okay word, although that sounds creepy. It's not. But I do many cleansing things and spiritually before and after. So I'm not just, hey, come talk to me. Okay, guys, the end of the show. See you guys later. And then meanwhile, I got an open line of communication with some stuff. No, I'm very adamant about how I do it and how I close it. And, keeping my, because this is where I live as well. This is in my home. The studio is in my home. So the last thing I want to do is open a portal to hell or something here. So anyway, we trust in your cautious approach, Brent. Thank you, Rachel. I mean, I really do take that very seriously. Resonate says, my only conscious memory of the UFO occupants happened in September 1992. My friend Kevin was present during the encounter. It scared him so much he refused to speak about it for a decade. Yeah, that's incredible. That's amazing. Again, if any of you guys got stories like that, please feel free to get a hold of me and be a guest on the podcast. I'd love to talk to you about your experiences, what you've seen, what you've experienced, what you've been through, what, if you're interested. You can go to paranormalportal.net, click the interview me button on that page, and that'll launch a calendar app, and you can sign up for an interview. It's all pre-recorded, so don't worry. It's not like we're going to be doing it live. Like, okay, hey, thanks for calling. We're going to go live, and you're on the spot. So it is pre-recorded, so we can always go back and edit as needed if you misspeak or whatever. So don't feel like you got to do a one-take kind of thing. It's perfectly fine, but I'm always looking for new guests. And some of my favorite guests are all of everybody that has experiences. I love talking to people that have experienced things. That to me is so powerful. In fact, I've meant to have several people back on the show, and I've been terrible about reaching back out to them to try to arrange that. I've literally got maybe 100 people that I was like, hey, we have to get you back. And then we just never reconnect. So no, we're not going to do it live. I mean, if you ever want to come on the live show and talk about your stories, that's a possibility too, but can't use that language. I'm just saying. Anyway, there you go. Interesting though. I thought that video was interesting. I thought that it was a neat capture. Again, I can't vouch for it personally, but it seems legitimate to me on face value. So you be the judge, though. Do you think he actually made contact with something, or do you think that's just a clever editing? It's up to you. I don't really have a horse in the race or a dog in the fight or whatever the phrase is, but it's interesting all the same. So I wanted to show you guys that because I posted it on Paranormal Portal Fans, and some of you guys saw it, but not many. Some of you guys need to get over to Paranormal Portal Fans and become a part of that page too. That's on Facebook if you're interested. I'm looking to expand my Instagram, my TikTok, my X, Twitter, and all the Facebook pages. My personal Brent Thomas page on Facebook is just about maxed out. I literally have like maybe a couple dozen people left that I can make friends with, and then it'll just have to be followers. But, if you want to be my friend, that's great. No worries. Get a slot while they're open, I guess, if you want. But I just really want to keep pushing this stuff forward. And part of that is just raising awareness of the shows. And that has everything to do with your involvement on social media. So, and if you don't mind, love to have you over there. Grandizer says, Brent, I listened to an episode last night of when Fade to Black Radio had Duke on there. And they mentioned you and when you met Glag and shook his hand. I never did that. I never got a hug or shook his hand. That's not true. That never happened. I'm not sure what was said or if that was a miscommunication. I'm not saying it's malicious, but that's not accurate at all, Grandizer. I met Kevin Lang when I was over in Coloma Ghost Town near Missoula, but I didn't shake Glag's hand or get a hug from Glag or anything like that. Allegedly, Glag was supposedly in the area. By what measure, I don't know. I didn't see Glag. I didn't experience that. But I was there when all of that was supposedly happening. But I didn't see a Bigfoot. I didn't see Glag, if that Glag was there. So I just want to make sure that that's being properly communicated, because I have no trouble with the fact that I've had a lot of paranormal experiences, but I don't want any of that to get embellished. So no, I didn't see Glag either. And it's not that it was impossible that Glag was there, but I had just got done. So the story is, I'm going to go into this because I want to make sure the record is straight. I went up there with a friend of mine who is one of the people that actually got me into investigating, doing paranormal investigations, and that's Dan Pruitt. We went up there, and Duke was having to get together at the same time up there, and he invited us to investigate this ghost town at the same time as they were doing kind of a Bigfoot get together. And I was fine with both. I mean, I'm interested in both things plenty. And so we all got together, and it was Duke, it was myself, it was Dan, and there was some guy, a Native American guy was there, nicknamed Caveman, I think. And nice, they're all wonderful people. I loved meeting all of them. Kevin was wonderful too. Kevin's been on the show, and said when Glag went to see Glag, that you went with Kevin. Jimmy asked Duke if he said Glag, and he said no, he didn't go with Kevin and you. Yeah, no, I didn't see Glag. That's not accurate. So anyway, we're up there, and I had interviewed Kevin by this time. I had already interviewed him before I met Kevin, and Kevin was a nice guy. I had great discussions with him. He told the story of Glag on this show, and it's in the archives in the Bigfoot playlist on YouTube if you want to check it out. And you can hear a more robust version on Duke's show regarding the whole Glag thing. Kevin and I talked for a couple hours about the Glag experience, and then another couple hours at another time. I think Kevin came on the show twice. But anyway, I met Kevin. So the get-together was happening in the Coloma Ghost Town grounds, which is near Garnet Ghost Town, up in the mountains near Missoula, Montana. And so I went up there, and Dan and I started doing some investigating around. We were just going around with different applications and different tools and just seeing if we're getting any readings. And we've been walking around a while and talking and meeting people and stuff that were in part of this get-together group. And it was fun. But at one point, I'd been walking around for hours with Dan and doing this, and I was sweaty. It was hot, and I was worn out, and I took my glasses off because I was just so full of sweat, and I was getting sweat in my eyes. So I took my glasses off and left them in the truck. And then Kevin came up and said, "Hey, can I talk to you?" I was like, "Oh, sure." And she said, "Why don't you take a little walk with me?" And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So we took a walk. And we went a little ways away on what's left of one of the roads in this ghost town. And essentially, if you ever get a chance, you can look up some live streams I did of that time. I didn't live stream this, but I did live stream when Dan and I were up there looking into the Glag stuff, or not into the Glag stuff, but looking into the haunting experiences up there at the ghost town. So you can kind of get an idea of what the area looked like. It's basically you're up on the top of a mountain, and there's no help anywhere for miles and miles. You're just up there alone. And it was fine, but we had a group of people, so nothing was really nerve-wracking. But at any rate, Kevin and I went for a walk down this little road, just he and I. Now, I didn't have my glasses on. I'm nearsighted. I can see close up just fine. And it was getting dark. It was not quite flashlight time, but it was close. It was getting really dark. And when you're up in the forest on the top of a mountain, it's already dark. So we went for a walk down the road, and Kevin said, "I want to introduce you to someone." And I'm like, "Oh?" And I really didn't know what to think. And he said, "Yeah, Glag's here." And I was like, "What?" So I didn't know what this meant. I was like, "Oh, well, what?" The Kevin story is pretty incredible, and I believe Kevin believes his story, but I was like, wow, okay. I'm looking around and we're standing in the darkness on this old road, and there's a bit of a rise next to us and a steep hill forest behind us. But the rise above us in front of us had been logged recently, so there wasn't a lot of tall trees, just a lot of scrub. And he said, yeah, he's up there. Do you feel him? And I was like, well, I said, Kevin, this whole place is really energetically charged. I said, it's been bizarre. It's my first time going up there, so I didn't know what to think. And I was like, well, I don't know. And he says, well, maybe he can talk to you through your mind. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he did some talking and stuff, and we were standing there, and I'm looking around, but I'm not seeing anything. I can see at least shadows and stuff, but I didn't see any movement. I didn't see any tall, huge figures or anything like that. And I was just standing there, and he said he's there, and he pointed up the hill a little bit. And I said, well, where? I said, I can't see. I said, Kevin, I left my glasses in the truck. He goes, yeah, he's right up there. And I looked and looked and looked. And it's not like I'm blind, like I can't see anything. It's just I can't see sharp details at a distance. So I'm looking, and it's darker, but it's not dark like pitch black. So it's darker, and I'm straining to see, I'm squinting and stuff. I didn't see anything. But I mean, it had a really weird vibe up there, but this is a haunted place anyway, so it already has a weird vibe. And I was just like, wow. I said, well, I appreciate you doing this. I said, is he going to come closer? And he goes, no, he's going to stay back, because Kevin said that he was with his family group of other Bigfoots or whatever. And hell, what do I know? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that this is all a bunch of bunk or anything. It's just I didn't see anything. And I said, oh, okay. And so we stood there for a while, and he talked to this Gleg, and I didn't hear any answers or anything or any vocabulary, any sounds at all. And then we stood there, and I was like, okay. And then we just walked back. So that was the entirety of the experience. And I'm not saying that it was impossible that happened, that nothing happened at all. I'm just saying I have no experience of Gleg personally. And I wish I did. Honest to God, I wish I would have. But I didn't see anything. I didn't shake Gleg's hand. I didn't get a hug from Gleg or anything. I hugged Kevin. It was nice to meet him and shake his hand and get to know him personally. But that's the truth of the story. And I just want to put that out there, because I think all of this stuff is amazing. And I think that any experiences are incredible, but I can't claim that experience. I can't, in having any kind of integrity, going, oh yeah, I saw Gleg. I gave him a high five and we knuckle bumped and stuff. Nothing like that. I can't do that. I'm just telling you what I did experience. Yeah. See, I wanted your story too, Brent. Apologies for changing the stream since you were solo. Maybe thought you'd clear it up. No, I appreciate that. If that information's going around, I really appreciate that, because I would rather the record was straight directly from me. Now, again, I'm not saying that, that's a bunch of bunk. Gleg wasn't there. I don't know. I just didn't experience that personally. So I can't weigh on whether Kevin met with Gleg and had a heart-to-heart discussion or whatever. And if you're not familiar with the story is that Kevin Lang was a teenager when he befriended this basically an orphan Bigfoot, and it was named Gleg, and they kind of grew up together and had this whole series of experiences. And you can, like I said, you can certainly go back in the archives and hear that story firsthand from Kevin while he was still alive. He's unfortunately passed now, so he can't add any more to it or give any updates or answer any questions. But so the idea was that he moved away and then was coming back up into the area when this happened and was going to hopefully reunite with Gleg. And I just happened to be there. So, but I didn't experience that personally. I'm not saying Duke said you seen Gleg. He just said that when Kevin went to go see Gleg, that you went with him and thought, oh, wow, then Brent's seen Gleg. No, Duke was getting really choked up. Yeah, Duke and Kevin were very close. I mean, they were dear friends, and it was a blow when Kevin passed for all of us, of course. He was a really nice guy. I liked Kevin. I just I can't claim that I knew Kevin really, really well, but I did talk to him and have those discussions with him on the show. And I was there for, the time when he was up in Montana. But that was the extent of my experience. So I just want to set that straight, just in case there's any miscommunications or any ideas about what I've experienced personally, because I'm happy to tell you guys my experiences. But that night we had plenty of spiritual experiences. Dan and I had a hell of a time up there. That was an incredible series of nights for us. But yeah, I didn't meet Glag. So Patterson video was deemed a fake many years ago. Yeah, but it's not. I firmly believe that Patterson Gimlin video is absolutely legitimate. Now, I do have, I mean, I'm not good buddies with Bob or anything, but I've met Bob several times, and I found him to be about the most sincere, genuine, incredibly honest guy, one of the most incredible people I've ever met. And sure, there's a lot of people that say, oh, that's a fake, but if you really dig into it, none of that has really been categorically successfully debunked. There's people that have made claims like Bob Hieronymus and people in suits and all of that, but I really believe that what was captured was legitimate. I did interview Bob on the podcast, and you can listen to that on the podcast archives, and he tells his story. We also talked about other things, because when I interviewed Bob, I didn't just want to repeat the same interview Bob's done 100 times or 1,000 times. So we had a great discussion. But I firmly believe, resonate, that the Patterson Gimlin film is legitimate. Thinker Thunker did a great breakdown of it. Bill Munns, who was a special effects guy in Hollywood, he did the Planet of the Apes stuff back in the 60s. He did a big breakdown of it several times, talking about how that couldn't have been a costume, just based on his firsthand professional knowledge of costuming and production and all of that in Hollywood. He said that if it was a suit, it would have cost about $1 million, which was not possible for Roger and Bob to afford on basically a rodeo budget. They were a couple of roughnecks. I mean, they were rodeo guys. That's what they did. They didn't make a killing. They didn't make a lot of money, but they just happened to capture something incredible. And it still remains some of the best evidence ever captured on the Bigfoot subject, in my opinion, and in several others. But I'm absolutely on board with the Patterson Gimlin film being absolutely legitimate. Thinker Thunker did a great breakdown with proportions, human proportions versus primate proportions. And he shows really incredibly why that couldn't be a person in a suit. And so if you ever get a chance, go over to Thinker Thunker's channel and look up that, if nothing else, because I think that really, really settles, at least in my mind, it settles a lot of the debate about whether that could be Bob Hieronymus in a suit. So there's a whole ton of controversy around Bob Hieronymus's claims. I think has one or two interviews with Kevin Lang. Yeah, I think Kevin was definitely on the show twice on the portal, but if you really want to get the real meat and potatoes of the whole Glag experience, you should really check it out on Duke's channel, World Bigfoot Radio, or I think he changed the name now. I don't think it's World Bigfoot Radio anymore. It used to be World Bigfoot Central, maybe now, I think is what he changed it to. But yeah, that's Duke and Kevin did a series of shows together going through that whole experience. And if you really want the background on it, and it's an incredible series of stories. And I don't mean stories in a dismissive way. I just mean that Kevin really had a lot to say about the subject. So that's that. But yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, because I definitely want to be able to clear any misunderstandings about that. And I don't think anybody's, making a claim about, I don't think Duke did it maliciously or anything. I'm not implying that. I'm just saying I just want to make sure that everybody knows. Look, that's been dropped a ton of times ever since that night that I met Glag, or that I was there when Glag came and stuff. And while it's true I met Kevin and was present at the event, I didn't see anything. I didn't experience anything firsthand, and have no knowledge of having met Glag. So anyway. I believe Kevin was true. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doubting that his story could be legitimate. I just wish I had a personal experience with that when that was happening. I mean, I was a little blown away. He's like, "Hey, you want to take a walk? I want to introduce you to someone. Gleg's here." And I was like, "What?" I wasn't ready for that, but it turned out that, I guess that wasn't in the cards for me to meet Gleg. So thank you, Brent. I wanted to tell others that Brent got a hug from Gleg, but not even a fist bump. Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a great story if I did. I mean, if I had that experience, I'd be happy to share it with you guys. It's just not my experience, unfortunately. So far, the only Bigfoot experience I had was when I was growled at as a young lad. Other than that, I don't think I've knowingly been close to them since then. But all right, there are credible UFO videos taken by military and commercial pilots, and in contrary, I've never seen a legit alien video. Skinny Bob is fake. Creature I saw in 1992 did not look like a puppet. Oh, interesting, Resonate. It sounds like you got some great background there. I'd love to talk to you. They show themselves to who they want. Yeah, they probably do. You're right. And maybe if Glag was there on that night, I guess he didn't want to show himself to me. Brent's like, "Glag here? I didn't even dress up." Yeah. I didn't even use cologne. Sorry. All right. Well, where the hell are we now? I forgot what I was going to do. Oh, let me look at the time. 8:40. Oh my God, it's 8:40. We haven't even hit the cryptids yet. Kind of did, just talking about the Patterson Gimlin and Glag, of course. That's kind of an early part of the Cryptid Corner, but there was a couple Black-Eyed Kids stories I wanted to cover for the Cryptid Corner, so by God, we're going to do that now. Want to do that now? Let's do it now. These are going to come from Phantoms and Monsters. Hopefully I can get them both in, but if not, we'll get to as many as we can. We might do a little bit overtime. I don't know. We'll see. Along with a mature tree snapped at the base and pushed over a road. Wow. Yeah, Rachel, that's no small thing. That's huge. I tell you what, there's one thing that I've noticed up here that happens sometimes, and it's really strange. I don't know what to make of it, but I've experienced it about 5 times since living up here in the Pacific Inland Northwest and the north tip of Idaho. That I've been up roads, and it's not during storms or anything, but they're sometimes really scrubby roads. And you go up these roads, and then you come back, and there's a small tree pushed, like, laying over the road. It's like, where the hell did that come from? How did that just appear here? I've had that happen several times. Like something went, "Well, you're not getting back out unless you get out of your car." And I'd have to get out and move these little trees. And they weren't huge. They weren't like trees. One time there was a tree, but that was during a storm. That was during a winter storm. A huge tree was laying over the road. It was pretty crazy. But these small trees just appearing. It's like, maybe a 25-foot, 8-inch round, smaller tree just suddenly laying over the road. So it had to be pushed over while we were in the woods picking blueberries and mushrooms. Wow. That's incredible. Don't apologize, Grandizer. That's fine. I just heard you say something that I could have asked this quick question. What? 19 minutes left. Yeah, the Glag story. Yeah, don't apologize. That's fine. The shows are always a discussion first. If we cover things or not, doesn't matter to me. As long as we're having a good discussion, I'm fine with it. Let's see. Kevin had his own channel before he was on Duke's channel. Dog Digger says, yeah, he did. That was over in the Rumble chat. He did. And I know many people that went out with Kevin and said that he seems to be a Bigfoot magnet. He seemed to be, like, when a lot of strange things happened around him. Kevin showed me pictures of, like, these huge huge tree stumps that were up in trees. Now, unless somebody's blowing stumps with dynamite, I don't know how you get that. I mean, there'd be huge tree stumps just lodged in branches way up high. And he said that there was nobody dynamiting or anything. Pretty crazy. Who needs a chainsaw when there's me? I don't know. I guess, Rachel, you're kind of a magnet yourself, aren't you? All right. Well, I want to get to the cryptids before we run out of time for cryptids. But I said we're going to start with Black-Eyed Kids because for 2 nights now I used a Black-Eyed Kid on the promotional poster. And it's because last night I was intending on reading one of these stories at least. But we didn't get to it. because of the technical problems. So we're getting into it tonight. So let's get to it. Whoops, it's not the question of the week. That's already over. It's time for this instead. Yeah, Kevin did. You're right, John. He took a lot on the chin. I believe Kevin's story. Welcome to the Cryptid Corner. But yeah, I believe Kevin's story because either he was a hell of an actor or he was truly an emotional man recalling some very genuine memories when I interviewed him, because he would break down in just sincere tears, just with with all of the trauma that experience was for him on so many levels, but also his deep and profound love for Glag. It's like, wow. So either he was an incredible actor that somehow pulled these Oscar performances out of his pocket, or he genuinely believed in these experiences with all his heart. So I believe he believed them. That's for sure. All right. Well, we're going to get to the Black-Eyed Kid story here from phantomsandmonsters.com. Again, please support Phantoms and Monsters. Go visit it. Lon's got an incredible catalog of encounter stories here, as well as research information from him and his crew that look into a lot of this strange phenomena throughout the nation here and into Canada. So definitely worth checking out. You can find Lon's published works and information on his own podcast, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio, which is also a YouTube channel. So check it out. You can catch Lon live streaming. Actually, Lon live streamed this morning from Albatwitch Festival over in Pennsylvania. And he posted the link on his channel or on his Facebook. So I jumped in there quick on his StreamYard stream and jumped on the live stream just for a few minutes to say hi. That was fun. So, yeah, check out Lon, support what he's doing. He's been at this a long time, and he's a hell of a guy. So definitely look into it. We're going to get to this story. Black-Eyed Grunge Girl. I'm going to die. Ooh. I don't know. I saw this, was like, ooh, what is this? Sounds like a little different take. But let's see what it says. The witness describes a bizarre encounter with a black-eyed teen girl who was walking along the yellow lines in the middle of the street. I'm still not sure exactly what happened. All I know was that it was very unsettling, and I still get the creeps thinking about it. This was years ago, I think around 2013, 2014. It was early fall, late afternoon, but it was a bit dark and gloomy as it was an overcast day. While I was driving home from shopping, I was by myself. So I came around a corner, and on my right was a fire station. It was empty, though. I had to slam on my brakes because a couple of cars in front of me had stopped. I figured someone was turning. Well, then I noticed 2 to 3 cars in the other lane coming towards me were also stopped. The guy in the first car then stuck his head out the window and was like, WTF? So I was trying to see what was going on. Then I saw her. She was just slowly walking down the center line. No care that the road was busy, just walking straight down the yellow lines. The guys in front of me were yelling, trying to get her attention, but she stayed facing forward. She had her head down a bit, but her eyes were facing up. Reminded me of a grunge girl. She was maybe 14 or 15 years old. Well, I started to get the creeps because this looked creepy in itself, with all these cars stopped and the random person just walking down the middle of the road, oblivious to all the traffic. Thanks, Megaphone Man. I'll give you an applause after the article. As she neared my car, I actually rolled up my window because I was starting to feel panicked. Right as she was passing, I decided to knock loudly on the window. Much to my surprise, she turned and looked right into my car. I can't explain her face, but her eyes were totally black. Something was seriously wrong with her. But when I saw her eyes, my heart rate sped up. I didn't know what to do, but she had stopped and was just looking into my car. I cracked the window a bit and was going to ask her if she was okay And she said, I'm going to die. Honestly, I freaked out. The cars in front of me had left, so I sped off up the hill, but I got a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach, so I turned around at an elementary school up ahead and called the police. They told me that they were actually already on their way, so I stayed parked and watched her in my rear view until I saw the cops show up. Cops came with their lights on, and I saw her try and jump in front of the officer. But they didn't hit her. But once they got her, I just drove home. It creeped me out for weeks. I'll forget about it and then remember it when I'm driving or when it's gloomy day, and I get a chill right up my spine. That's atypical as hell for a black-eyed kid encounter. I don't know. I mean, it's not like they generally hide. They're generally seen sometimes in public type places, but it doesn't seem like they vie to become the center of attention, though. So I don't know. Maybe this was just an emotionally disturbed kid with some dark contact lenses or something. I don't know. And especially if she was gothically dressed or whatever. I mean, certainly the black contacts are not atypical for some goth fashions, I guess, but that's very unusual. Very strange. Run, Forrest, run, yeah. Grunge girl asked for a cigarette. Yeah, maybe. Brent's in the zone with the story, in the zone with AutoZone. Oh, there we go. Yep, I just did a promotion. Thanks, Nace. Appreciate your love, brother. Says, hi, Miracles. Hope you're finding giggles abundantly and no ectoplasm in your coffee creamery. Yeah, we don't want ectoplasmic coffee. That's why we prefer Magic Mind. It's the stuff. I'm telling you it's the stuff. I think it's mistaken identity. She could have had very dark brown eyes. Yeah, I'll tell you, that's probably very true. So I don't know if you guys know or not, but my wife is from Indonesia, and she has very dark eyes, and it's so dark that it sometimes looks as if her eyes are almost completely dark, like not necessarily black. There is still whites to her eyes, but that you have to look in very specific lighting to see that brown color. It's such a deep, rich brown that it almost looks like it's part of her pupil. And so, yeah, I mean, that's not uncommon. You're right, Rachel. It could be some ethnic thing or whatever, but do they change? I don't know if they change. Black eye crusties. Yeah, that's kind of gross. Do they change what's for the black-eyed kids? I don't know. There's some people that say they've encountered demon-possessed people that their eyes have gone all black, but then being normal. So they'll change back and forth. And also the whole reptilian slit eyes or cat-like eyes are experienced by people who are possessed. In fact, when I think with Father Mike, when I talked to him, Father Mike Driscoll, he was talking about having talked to an exorcist who is also an exorcist with the Catholic Church, who said he's seen the eyes physically change like that and become like cat eyes or like lizard type of eyes. It's really crazy. But, I don't know if they do or not. It's kind of funny. I noticed her eyes mostly when I first met her, but now it's like I see her every day, so I guess I don't pay attention to her eyes looking different. As far as changing the color, maybe they do. Mine change between like a hazel gray and a blue gray all the time. And it's like a mood ring for me. My eyes change quite a bit. So sometimes they're more green and sometimes they're more blue and sometimes they're more gray. And so I don't know why my eyes do that, but they do. I don't know. And when I get pissed, they get really red. So anyway, I got black eyes when I fought a school bully in elementary. Yeah, both eyes. Well, didn't go knocking at doors on the 2 a.m., did you? That was good. Okay, we got 8:53. I'm going to see if I think we'll try to read the other one if I can find it here. Got to pluck through my Phantoms and Monsters. I wanted to read this one too, but we're just not going to get the time. They've got some Bigfoot stuff. Here it is. Elderly black-eyed woman encountered in shop, also from Phantoms and Monsters. I wanted to hit both of these because I think the black-eyed people, I guess is a better description, because sometimes they're kids and sometimes they're adults. There's black-eyed adults too. But let's see what this says. I was curious about her since she seemed so strangely dressed. I looked directly at her eyes and her eyes met mine. It was then that I noticed she had no white eyeballs. Her eyes were completely black. Yeah, just look at that image. Could you imagine? That would bore holes through your soul. Jesus. I received the following account. Hi, I live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and the date of this incident was August 15th, 2014. I was a waiting customer in line at Pep Boys Auto Shop. Just looking around, a small woman entered and she appeared oddly dressed. She looked to be in her 70s or early 80s at first because of her rather messy gray hair, which fell about to her chin line. She was about 5 feet tall and wore very short, baggy, unironed shorts and a baggy, unironed blouse. Her face seemed normal. My name was called and I turned my attention to the business at hand, and I went to sit in the adjacent waiting room. I'd been seated there for about 15 minutes when the same woman came to the all-glass door and tried to pull it open. She could not pull it open with one hand since her other hand was holding a small book and drink. Well, I started to get up, walk across the room to help open the door, but someone sitting beside the door opened it for her. Well, she then sat down at a right degree angle to me. She at 90 degrees and me sitting at 180 degrees, about 4 feet away from me. Well, I was curious about her since she seemed so strangely dressed. I looked directly at her eyes, and her eyes met mine. And it was then that I noticed that she had no white eyeballs. Her eyes were completely black. Well, I was startled, and I must have looked so because she got up instantly and walked out of the waiting room. Well, I followed behind her about 20 seconds later, but I saw her no more after looking around a bit. She may have been wearing a wig, or she may have had a different kind of contact lenses in her eyes, but something about her just seems so strange. I've been wondering whether she was a hybrid. I also wonder whether anyone else has had an experience similar to this. I reported this incident to MUFON, and he suggested I enter this report, and I do so with hesitation because it just sounds so bizarre. Some of my answers on this report really don't apply to this incident, so I answered because I could not submit this report unless I answered the questions somehow. Well, there you go. Doesn't seem to be any comment from Lon on that, but that is strange. That is really strange. What is it? Is it extraterrestrial? Is it something else? Is it something with this person that it could see her eyes and didn't see, maybe she's able to hide it from everyone else? Because you got to wonder, how did nobody else notice this? Or did they? Did someone else notice it as well? I don't know. That's pretty creepy. I mean, I don't know what I would do. I honestly, if she looked pissed like that, it'd probably be pretty unnerving, like, Jesus. But, I mean, if she looked like a normal person with just black eyes, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have said much anything. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's easy to look on the outside looking in at stuff like this and go, well, this is how I would have handled it. Well, hell, I don't know how I would have handled it. I hope I would be graceful about it, because obviously she wasn't there to, steal souls or whatever. Well, at least you don't think so, but doesn't seem like she was very good at opening sliding glass doors, but maybe that part was lost on her. But anyway, that's a very strange story. Good story, though. I like it. It's not your normal story, I guess, as far as paranormal stuff goes. Is it a cryptid? Well, I don't know if these are cryptids or what they are, but they might be. I guess that's basically the same thing, because they are some form of humanoid that exists in our world, and we don't really know what they are. And they seem to be incredibly atypical in their behaviors, and they seem to be incredibly sinister in their behaviors sometimes as well. Well, oftentimes, actually, in black-eyed kids' stories. Doesn't ever seem to be anything good going on there. But I don't know what to make of it, folks. But there you have it. That's the 2 black-eyed kids stories, because I wanted to make sure you got them finally before we ended this week's shows. This is the last night of shows here on the show, or on the stream, for this week anyway. But it's always an incredible journey. It's always an incredible journey here on the portal. I got to make sure to close these so I don't try to reread them later, because now they're read. They've been read. So I sometimes forget to do that, and I'm like, I think I might have read this. We're reading it again. I was thinking of that photo of the poor young child who was trapped under the debris as water was rising, and her eyes looked black. Whoa, I don't know what you're talking about. When I die, I want to get cremated and dumped in the woods to give cryptids a taste of their own medicine. Well, I don't think the cryptids are going out of their way to harass people, for the most part. I think sometimes people live so close that they can't help but be curious and look for a free lunch, but I don't think they go out of their way to raise hell for people. But I think that we probably just get too close, and it's screwing with their ability to live. And so they want us to leave so they can keep living, Again, you think about something as big as, possibly 9-10 feet tall, maybe 1,200 pounds of muscle and stuff. And what caloric needs does that have? There's got to be a pretty steep curve on what they have to consume every day just to stay going. And they don't have drive-thrus. They can't just go, well, I missed lunch at work, so I'm going to hit McDonald's on the way home. It's like, if they don't eat, they don't eat. So I suppose it gets pretty freaking serious for them. That's, when we're deciding to have a nice camping time at the place where they may be foraging for fish or food or, crawdads or whatever, and we're sitting there camping, well, that means their family doesn't eat that night. So that might be a whole different kind of gravity than we understand. So I don't think they go out of their way to harass us, but I think they do harass us because they're trying to get us out of their way. But anyway, just my 2 cents, whatever that's worth, I don't even know. But I got a microphone, so you get it every night, unedited and unfiltered. Well, at least mentally filtered, but not physically. Anyway, that's going to wrap up the show for tonight. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And I hope that you'll come back next week. If you're brand new to the show, if you're listening, I hope you'll follow, subscribe, do whatever. If you're on YouTube, make sure to hit the notifications and click all so that you get notified every time I do something. I just shouldn't say it like that. I just don't know how else to say it. Every time I go live or do a show. Anyway, that's about it. Your 2 cents actually make a lot of sense. I like what you did there. Thank you. Good words. Good words, Nate. Appreciate it. But that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Thank you, Dog Digger. It's great to see you, brother. And all by himself over there on Rumble, keeping down the fort. I appreciate it, man. And thank you to all you guys who are out there listening. If you're not chatting, of course, I love that you're there as well. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll come back next time. We do these live streams every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And so I hope you guys will check it out. Cannabis Resolution's coming in again. It's payday. Love you, Naysay. Thank you so much. High Miracles, ignore the megaphone man. He is full of himself. Share the giggles. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Well, that's all I got for you guys. So have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. Take care of each other. Of course. Remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll be back Wednesday night. Jimmy might even be here. I don't know if he'll make it again or not, but we'll try. And have another show on Wednesday night. So until then, you guys take care of yourselves. Watch for the podcast coming out to the beginning of this week. Might be coming out Tuesday. I'll try to get it out for Monday if I can, but I've just been juggling a lot of stuff lately, so trying to keep up. But anyway, that's what we got. But until then, remember, if you want to be a guest, love to see you. Go over to paranormalportal.net. It's the homepage for all the shows. All the social media links are there too. If you want to follow or subscribe or be a part of my communities on the other platforms, I'd love to see you there. And you can also be interviewed on the podcast if you got stories and wouldn't mind sharing them. So I'd love to hear from you. But that is paranormalportal.net, and that should bring you everywhere that I can bring you and give you all the information about what I'm doing. So until next time, you all take care. See you Wednesday night right here, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Always 10 p.m. Eastern is when the shows start for these live streams. So until next time, take care of yourselves. Good night, everybody.